Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Deb Lavoy with Reality Team, and today I'm talking with Chris Jarvis from Cinq-Mars Media about the game that he authored called Polititruth. Hi, Chris, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I can see from looking out your window there that we are both having slightly cloudy days. I wanted to start our conversation by asking you, you have sort of an interesting story for how you came to create this game. Can you share some of that background?
Of course. Well, I was living in Trump Tower, of all things, in the 2016 election. And in the midst of that, I became interested in the truth and falsity and fake news that was proliferating at the time and currently. And, having never really participated in any kind of political dynamics before, I was interested in, using our nonprofit's ability to kind of make a game around fake news. And by gamifying it, I thought maybe I could draw more attention to it. I could incentivize people to pay a little bit more attention, be a little bit more discerning about what they thought was true and what they thought was false. So I reached out to Politifact, an organization I really admire, and they were down. So we entered a collaboration where we built this game that has sometimes been referred to as like Tinder for fake news. It's pretty simple. You just kind of swipe to the left if you think the story is fake, and you swipe to the right if you think that it's true. And then it's really that simple.
That's pretty neat. So the two tracks I want to go down here. One is tell me about your nonprofit.
So Cinq-Mars Media, it's an educational and tech nonprofit. We started by making a campus safety app called Phone Flare that was honored at the White House a few years ago. We mostly build video games, however. We've had several featured at E3 and PAX and big video game conferences around the world. And I would say the mission of the nonprofit, in addition to the social projects that we do, like the campus safety app or other technologies that we build, the underlying mission, at least behind the games, is to make games, educational games, that are actually fun. Growing up, all the educational video games I played were so unbearably boring. So we're doing our best to try to make engaging puzzles that have educational value but are actually engaging and entertaining.
Cool. So when you started your collaboration with Politifact, they provide all of the content for the game, is that right?
They do, yes. I don't do any fact checking. I don't do any journalism. All credit goes to them. They're amazing. They expose their API for me, which I think there is a track to make that public so that other people can take advantage of that to make their own applications that are similar or have like a different bend to them. Politifact just kind of agreed to share all of their data in a simple format for the game to access and present to the users, and update, etc. So
the stuff in your stories are real headlines or real news stories that have been fact checked one way or another by Politifact.
Yes.
And so your game, did you select them at random out of there, or?
They're in they're different modes. By default, they are chronological. It's pretty much all of them. There's really no discernment. We just kind of throw them all there. So you can go back and see all the fact checks that Politifact has done.
It's all of the whole database is in there if you play long enough.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. So I haven't played that long. I figured there was a lot of them in there. I didn't realize it really was a live access to the whole database. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So what you mentioned about this being Tinder and simple for people to play, it's true. I've played it. It's kind of fun. It puts something up. You say, I think this is true, or I think this is false, and then you give the answer. It's very quick.
Yeah.
And you're trying to give people sort of an instinctive ability to sort of sniff out something that sounds fishy.
Yeah, I think that's the idea. I think, you know, to see and recognize different patterns that tend to exist in the false statements and in the false stories and other patterns that exist in the ones that are true or mostly true. Just to give people a toolkit on kind of how to view the news that they see and different, you know, red flags that might be there. And you know, it is a very quick game, but hopefully, especially if you get it wrong, I hope that you know, people actually read the full article afterwards. Which there's a front and center link to do that right then. So
cool. Can you show us?
Of course, it'd be my pleasure. All right. Yes.
All right. So you're sharing the screen from your phone. This is an app you can download from the Apple App Store and from
Google Play.
From Google Play. Excellent. Cool.
Yep. So it's really simple. As you can see, I've played a while. I'm back to 2020, but you know, we can slide it to the right if we think the statement is true. Slide it to the left if we think it's false. Says COVID-19 remains in the air for 8 hours and that everyone is now required to wear masks everywhere. That doesn't seem quite right. Of course it isn't. And here on the fact check button, I can read more about this. And I can share on social media. The other nice thing I like about it is that Politifact doesn't just say true or false. They give different ranges of truthiness to different things. Like pants on fire is their most blatant of lies, and they have mostly true, mostly false. There's a range. If your child gets this virus, they're going to the hospital alone in a van with people they don't know to be with people they don't know. You'll be at home without them in their time of need. That seems more like pants on fire, and indeed it is. And then as you can see here, we have streaks. So in the last 4 that I did, I got 3 out of 4 right. I got 1 wrong. They're furloughing nurses in hospitals in Western New York State. Jerome Adams, television interview. I'm gonna say that's true. Oh, I'm wrong. So it would behoove me in this case to probably read more about this and learn. Hospitals refute Surgeon General's claim about nursing furloughs. All right. All right.
Go ahead and do that one, and then let's hit the fact check button and see what happens.
All right. Even Fairfax County doesn't pay the kind of school administration salaries that Richmond is paying right now. I'm gonna say that's okay.
It's hard.
It is.
Even people who study this stuff all the time get fooled pretty often. So when you clicked the link, it actually goes to the page on the Politifact website, right?
It does.
Where they unpacked this story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the thing that really amazes me about this game is just how terrible I am at it, even after playing it for so long. I thought I would, you know, I had this kind of arrogance that I would just be awesome, you know, at it. But that has just been very far from the case. I am average at best.
Yeah, it turns out that a lot of us fit in that average range.
Yeah.
And it's good to be reminded of that, actually. we
It
are
is,
not
yeah.
as good at detecting disinformation as we think.
No.
And if
Even
that's
even
the
among,
only thing you get out of this, it's probably worth it. Go ahead.
yes. No, that's my feeling as well. I mean, even those of us who are aware of how much disinformation there is out there and study it are kind of not as good as identifying it out of context as we would like to think we might be. So.
Yep. So how much time do you think you have to spend with Polititruth, the game, before you start to sort of, first of all, realize whether you're good or bad at this, or second, start to get a little better at it?
I think you'll realize you're pretty bad at it after about probably a minute. At least that's
about how long it took me. Yeah.
That's what most people at E3. Yeah, that's what they thought. But to get better, you know, that I think takes some time. But I think it's a worthwhile investment, and it's kind of fun, simple, just kind of flick back and forth, challenge yourself, get better. We've seen most people improve by about 20% in their first, I would say, half hour, 45 minutes of playing.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
That's really neat. So go back to the, can you go back to the game from here?
Sure. Oh, I'm on the new I'm on the new iOS 15, so I don't know how to go directly back on the new.
There you go.
There we
go. So yeah, no, I live in Fairfax County, so that looks true to me, that statement.
Yep.
There you go. All right. Well, this is kind of a fun game. It's the kind of thing you can play, you know, in those moments when you're waiting for something. It doesn't take a huge amount of time, just you know, a minute here and there. And as you say, you can get 20% better just by playing this game. Any other thoughts? Who do you hope will play this game, and who do you want to know about it?
Well, I mean, I hope that, you know, I think the target audience, I think, are people who, I mean, obviously it would be great if people who are most susceptible to fake news play it, not least of all so that we can actually gather those statistics and, you know, provide them, which we of course do, so that we can kind of target where and what demographics are most vulnerable to misinformation. We make them freely available. You know, honestly, people who feel like they have a good stranglehold of the truth and fiction in the news and feel confident, I think this game is a good test of that to put that to the test.
Yes, it should be, you know, you could call it, you could give it a tagline of, you're not as good as you think.
Yeah, I think so.
No matter who you are, you're not as good as you think.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for the demo and the background. And we'll be sure to share the link to the game in the App Store and Google Play as we share this video out. And I really appreciate your time today, Chris.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Take care.
Take care.